Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today's once again laundry day, so I'm going to be doing another wash-in video. This time I've got some towels. You can see that the Whirlpool is fully loaded. And then I've got sort of a various load in this machine, because I've got a bath mat, a couple of hand towels, and some kitchen towels. So, yeah, we'll see how this machine handles that. I'm going to go ahead and get things going. I'm going to set this, that's fine. Hot water for the towels. No extra rinse, and the load size is extra large. And there's your hot water pressure. More on that later. For the Gentle Annie, we're going to set this to heavy duty as well. Spin speed will be fast, water level high, wash temperature warm, although it's no hot water still because of the solenoid. There goes that one. You guys know this is the first wash-in to feature towels? And this is also the first wash-in to feature the Gentle Annie washer, so just have at that. Okay, let's see how I do this with one hand. Yes. The detergent for these loads is Persil powder. Persil. In case you don't know, they said this is Persil's best powder, so into the Whirlpool. And then into the Gentle Annie. Okay, we'll get these in. I acquired some scent boosters. It wasn't actually me, it was my parents, but sort of helps with the scent. And then finally, we're going to use, for the fabric softener part of it, we've got some naturally fermented white vinegar. Let's start with this machine. No. You guys have no idea how tricky it is to do this with two hands. Or with one hand, rather. You know what I mean. It's hard to pour into the dispensers while you're holding the camera. Okay, that's the detergent. So, all loaded up and ready to go. Persil, whatever this stuff was. The scent boosters, and the white vinegar. just gonna, so I can't fill the dispenser all the way up with white vinegar because it's just a waste. I think this dispenser is kind of oversized. There you go. Fill it the rest of the way up with water. So this machine's coming along nicely. Filling with water. Remember how I was saying this machine had the control panel issue? Where it would stop at the medium water level even though I'd set it to high? Well, since I've put it back in service, it hasn't caused me any problems, so I kind of just left it alone. I don't know why it was doing that last time I had it in service, but it's decided that it wants to work properly again. So, you know, hopefully it doesn't play up again. But I'm really happy that it's all good and going, because it would have been annoying if I had to find a new one. Yeah, this is gonna, the Gentle Annie will start by a long shot. This machine still has a good 5-6 holes to go. Yeah. Get a nice close-up of the agitation starting. Alright, start. There we go. Now this machine is washing. Wash on this machine will go for exactly 10 minutes. Each of the wash progress lights represents 2 minutes, so, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. On the regular cycle, the default wash progress time is, it's 8 minutes. And then for the delicate and wool, I think, cycles, because they're, you know, they're gentle, they default to 4 minutes. Now I'm not sure what the permanent press cycle is. I'll have to double check that. Yeah, there goes that. Washing away. It's doing pretty good too. Everything just gets pulled down by this auger. So now it's all being turned over pretty well. This machine is this machine likes washing big, bulky items is just because of the way the agitator on this is designed. It's got incredibly large fins at the bottom, which is good for, you know, like when you have smaller things like shirts or shorts. And the delicate stuff is also good for this agitator. That's why it's called the gentle ending, because it sort of uses wave force, if that makes sense. It's not so much actual scrubbing action like this one, because the fins at the bottom of this machine are going back and forth really fast, and that gets a lot of the cleaning done. So although it might not look like much is happening on the top, there's actually a lot of cleaning happening at the bottom. This one, on the other hand, is different because of the large fins. The machine doesn't have to agitate that far, and you can see that the water action is really aggressive. And the bigger the items, the more aggressive it gets. That's why this load is turning out so splashy. Whoops, sorry. But yeah, it doesn't really like, just because of the size of the agitator, and you know, it's a lot of energy to move all the clothes like this. So it takes a lot of energy. You can see the tub going back and forth on the inside. And you can see you can hear the motor as well, doing its thing on the inside. Did you hear that bang as well? So that's the thing with this machine. Just below the pulley there's like 3 screws, and you know how when this machine fills up with water, the tub lowers down, so that this machine has a very thin base plate to keep the air out of it or something, or to also like quiet the operation. But anyways, there's like a hole inside of the middle of the base plate, and the screws with the pulley, when it goes down, it sort of like lowers, and the screws go through the hole in the base plate, which is fine because, you know, there's nothing obstructing it then. It's when the tub goes back and forth when it's washing like this that you can hear what happens. The screws, they hit the side of the base plate. Listen. Especially on small loads, because that's when the tub really likes to go back and forth, and that causes it to hit the base plate quite frequently. But it's a pretty rare occurrence with large loads, unless it's like bulky like this. So yeah. But yeah, not doing a bad job. We've got less than 4 minutes to go on this one. This one's still washing. Water is pretty warm. It's hot. That reminds me, so the thing with this is that it only does a cold rinse, but I like having the warm because it fills faster. And the automatic temperature control at the back doesn't kick in for the rinse on this machine. So when it's set to warm, it's a true 50-50 fill for the rinse. Unfortunately, it's different for the wash fill. The ATC does kick in for the wash fill, and it likes to temper it really hot. But yeah, it's just kind of a thing that this machine does. It has wacky ATC, I don't like it. So even when I set it to cold, it actually does mostly just 50-50 warm during the winter. So if I wanted to do, because it is winter now, so if I wanted to do a warm wash, like just, you know, 50-50 warm wash, I'd set it to cold. It does put in a little bit of cold water during the summer just because the cold water is hotter. But yeah, that's the thing with this machine. And you can see it has less than 8 minutes to go. I'm going to go back to this machine because I've got to finish. It's got only 2 minutes now. No idea how this machine will balance. I'll probably need to help it on the spin. That is the thing with this machine. It has the suspension from the top, but it's really flimsy as a result. And I think that's like one of the problems that Fisher and Paykel had, is that none of their machines did the balancing agitation before the stop. It was always vigorous agitation from start to finish. There was no short bursts to distribute the load. So you see how it just sort of stops there? That's sort of like why I like the Simpsons here, because they actually do the pulse agitation before the stop. And that allows the load to get really distributed. And because of that, the Simpson washers were usually pretty good with their balancing. But yeah, Fisher and Paykel, they were never really known for their good balancing, so. Yeah. You can hear the drain pump going. It's all draining away. Yeah. And they do mention the automatic lint removal system. They do mention that in the manual, so that, you know, it was a thing with these machines. Basically what it does is the lint goes into the middle of the agitator and it gets pulled down, and it goes between the inner and outer tub, and it gets stuck there because the holes on the tub are designed to not let the lint go back into the tub. And what's happening now is all that lint, which was at the top, is being pumped out of the machine and, you know, out of the standpipe. So that's the automatic lint removal system that these machines had. And I think other people did that as well, except for Whirlpool. Whirlpool is normal. No lint filters whatsoever. I actually hear quite a few people complain about that online, how it doesn't have any lint filter. what can you do about it? Wow, I'm actually really impressed on this first spin. Because I only adjusted one small thing. It was that little face washer. But everything else was, I didn't move anything else. So this is actually pretty decent balancing. See it entering the machine. When it hits the fins, it bounces back onto the clothes. I just barely see that. Which line are we on this machine? We're about to stop on this machine. This is going to do the minute and 30 spray rinse, I think it was. Or was it? Might have been, I think it was a minute and 45. It does a very lengthy spray rinse. Man, look at how filthy the water is. It's quite shocking. But yeah, draining away. Look at how quickly it drains. Sunlight just ventilating. The pump on this machine is driven by the main motor, so it's like motor's here and the pump is there. Transmission on this machine is on the other side, so you can imagine it. It's going like out the machine. I did a video with the cabinet off. If you want to go check that out on my channel, it's a pretty cool video. It's a bit old. I should probably do an updated video of it. I also did a video with no cabinet or no back cabinet on this machine, so you can see the motor on this machine during the wash. Although I have yet to do a video of it in spin, so that's an idea for a future video. I wonder who's going to accelerate first. Probably this machine. Yeah. Oh, it was close. with the clutch on this machine is pretty good. And I'm like, it's quite surprising because I think the clutch on this machine is still original. Did you hear that? Must have freed up. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, the clutch on this machine, which is only a 3-pad clutch, might I note, doing pretty good. I thought it freed up. Maybe I was wrong. So, for those of you who don't know, this machine has a pretty simple drivetrain. Basically what it does is, it's all belt driven, right? So you got the motor at the rear of the machine and it has a belt and there's a big pulley. It's directly connected to the agitator. No transmission. So this is also, you know, it's very light. And there is a striker arm connected to the tub. So this tub, on the tub shaft. Can I put it back? Oops. Sorry about that. On the tub shaft, there is a striker arm that sticks out. And just above the main pulley, there's like a tooth of some sort. I don't know what you call that, but I call it a tooth. So what happens for the spin is when the pulley goes in its direction, so it's going in one direction, the tooth hits the striker arm, which is connected to the tub, remember? And it causes it to spin. And during the wash, because it's not constantly going in one direction, it can usually agitate without moving the tub with it. Although occasionally the pulley will hit the striker arm, so sometimes you'll see in my videos when the tub goes too far in one direction, the striker arm will take a hit and bounce back in the other direction. I think it's a pretty clever idea. For its simplicity. I think whoever developed that was pretty genius, you know? So, during the spin, because the agitator has got all these clothes around it, sometimes it doesn't, the agitator doesn't have to hit the striker arm to move the tub, because it's caught up in the clothes. But during the acceleration part of the spin, sometimes if the load is like medium or maybe medium high, the agitator will free itself as it's accelerating, and you'll hear it do a brief boost on the motor before it hits the striker arm, because the agitator is free for that second or two. And then that's why on this machine, when it stops and the agitator is free, you'll hear it do that little skip as it's decelerating right at the start. And you'll also, you'll hear the click, and it's all very interesting sounds. It almost did on this leg, but I think it was got caught up by something. It might have been the towel or something. You might hear it while it's decelerating. went little by little. I was gonna say at the start of the video, our water pressure, I think it is a little less. It's kind of a long story behind it. So we had, I guess, a pipe. There was a pipe that burst in our neighborhood, and the people went to go fix it. And while they were doing that, our water pressure was like nothing. We had no water pressure at all for, I don't know how long, it was ages though. And but I would try to do a load of laundry in Maytag, and the fill would take 20 minutes. It was crazy. But I guess something needed to be adjusted in our house after the repair to the pipe was made, because I don't know the specifics of why it was, but in order for our water pressure to get back to normal, it had to be adjusted. So we had a plumber come by, adjusted it for us, and he put it up really high. It was pretty cool, because we asked him, can you, like, is it possible that you could get us more water pressure? And he cranked it up, and for about an hour we had amazing water pressure, like you couldn't believe. But something happened when he was adjusting the pressure, and I guess there was like debris in the pipe, and it got caught up in one of the valves next to the hot water cylinder. And so we had to replace that with a new valve of some kind. I don't know what the valve is. I'm not a plumber, but we did that. But when he put the new one in, for some reason, even though it was the exact same valve, it couldn't handle the high water pressure. Because every time he'd turn on the water, it would just go something like that. It was really noisy, like, you know, like how pipes sound or something like that. But he had to turn back down our water pressure, and I'm sure it's lower than it was, but it's not that big of a difference. But it must have lowered the water level a bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm sure we have less water pressure. I think he adjusted it a little bit too far back, and now our water pressure will never be the same. There's this machine. That's what it looks like without the gentle anti going, but I'm sure if you look back at my previous videos, the spray was a bit wider. I'm sure that our water pressure is a little lower, and that sucks, because you know how I feel about efficient fills. I know I'm not filling up my machines with the garden hose, but I guess I can't complain. We do have, our house is pretty new. I think it's like, our house is almost 10 years old, so it's fairly new, and all the houses around us are quite old, and they have, like, you know, old sink valves and things like that. So the water pressure at our neighbors isn't the best either. So, yeah. And just think about all the plumbing that I did to even make this possible. See? It is what it is, though. Here is still a bit cloudy. Well, they both stopped at the same time. Wow, that was crazy. I didn't even know that was possible with these two machines. This one doesn't have the most powerful pump in the world. Then again, it's not the weakest pump in the world, so I've had worse. Alright, let's clean up this mess. Such a messy washing machine when it's splashing items all over the place. I shouldn't wipe this one down, it's gonna get water during the spray rinse. Bit of water in there too. Okay, so Whirlpool's empty. This machine is still draining. Wonder who's gonna finish first. Maybe this one. I don't know. We'll see. Start spraying right here. Alright, now it's this machine's turn to spin. Needs to be readjusted. I can always pause the machine. Looks fine for now, but we'll see what happens when it accelerates. But it looks a bit that's alright. Yeah, I'll go with that. It's just gonna be maybe a little rough during the, because this machine spins really fast. It's 1,000 RPMs. But the thing about this one here, only does a 640, and this one does 1,000. We're gonna get up to that right now. Also see how we're doing on the wash progress. A little bit shaky for my liking. Only I can see it for some reason. Man, the camera really makes that appear not as is. It looks like it's moving a lot more in person. Yeah, not the smoothest spin in the world, but getting the job done. Alright, let's see what we got going for us. With the Shacklock is that I noticed if you close the lid during the spin, it causes it to spin just a little bit faster. It's something to do with the wind or the air around it. But when you shut the lid, it causes it to go like the tiniest bit faster. It's pretty unnoticeable, probably on camera, but just like a little bit faster. But I mean, look at that. It's spinning crazy fast. And this one is pretty well balanced. You see that? How long have we got on this? Less than 4 minutes to go. Remember, no extra rinse, so we'll be stopping on this spin. I think the spin on this machine was also 6 minutes. So it's also like the smart drives that do 6 minutes. Yeah, this is going incredibly fast. If when this machine stops, actually it looks like there's something stuck on the agitator, so it might not do the skip thingy when it slows down. I think that might be one of the bath mats, I think. Yeah, no skip. All done on the control panel. Not bad. Pretty good. Let's check out the towels. Everything came out really good. And everything came out really dry. And thank you, white vinegar, because our towels are now very soft. Why not? Let's check on the bath mat. Yeah, that feels pretty good. This bath mat has lost a lot of fluff. Too many heavy-duty washes, that's why. Think about all the lint that the Maytag used to get off of this. Goes back quite a bit. Man, I have timed that almost perfectly. Let's check this out. Yeah, this one also smells pretty good. I'll put it in the basket instead. I don't like putting things on top of the Shacklock just because of the sort of, they were never really known for their strong lids. In fact, it was actually quite a common occurrence for these lids to break. So I admire them for trying out a different shape on top, but had a kind of like structure issues. I like the Whirlpool too because it does the warm rinse. So I'm pulling these towels out of the Gentilani right now and they're like stone cold because of the incredibly cold water that we have this time of year. But the Whirlpool has warm rinse. And should I get it going, the Champion will also have warm rinse as well. And not just any warm rinse, but an overflow rinse. Yep. That is the end. All of the towels are done. And they came out really nice. They smell good because they have the scent booster stuff in them. And it's ready for the line, so thank you for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.